All right, guys, here we go. Backcountry Excursion 2024. Here I am back again at Algonquin Park in Ontario, Canada, in another backcountry trip. So I'll show you guys where we are right now and where we're going. So we are currently right here, Highway 60. This is our parking lot. We are standing right here. Pretty easy hike. So last year when we came, we went this way, up through here, to, I think it was this lake right here. All right, so this year, come back down, we're right here again. This way we're gonna go up to the right, to this lake right here. How the heck do you say that? Guskewau. Guskewau. I don't know, guys, but that's where we're staying. I don't know the terrain. I don't know how hilly it is. I don't think it should be too wet, but it should be a pretty good hike. A little bit challenging, and then tomorrow, after I'm done, after I wake up, we're gonna hike up around here. So I'm gonna do most of my hardcore hiking tomorrow. Today will be an easy hike in. We're gonna set up. So guys, here we go. Backcountry Camping Adventure 2024. Let's go. This video is sponsored by the Baerskin Hoodie 4.0 with two large front pockets that are great for storing a snack, a hidden chest pocket that's perfect for your phone, and inner pockets for securely storing your keys. Finally, the arm pockets are great for glasses or anything you might need on the fly. The Baerskin Hoodie 4.0 is perfect for anyone who spends a lot of time outdoors or works in a demanding environment. Hit the link in my video description or scan the QR code and use the code 10DAVE to save 10% on your very own Baerskin Hoodie 4.0. All right, so here we are at the very beginning. It is 11 o'clock. And should be two and a half hour hike in. My pack weighs roughly 50 pounds. I'm also carrying my camera and a couple things in my pocket. A trail mix, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I probably have about 55 pounds of stuff that I'm hiking in. Pack feels pretty comfortable. Just getting started. It's nice and tight, right up against my body. Nothing bouncing, nothing loose. So let's see how the terrain goes once we get in. Okay, so we're coming up to the fork here. Last year I came up here and I went to the left. So this year I'm going to the right. No idea what we're up for or what we're in for. Going to the right. Unfortunately, I am just on the tail end of a cold that seems to be lasting a lot longer than I would like for it to last. So I have a bit of a snuffy nose. So here we are, guys. We are going to the right. All right, guys, we're about 40 minutes in. I took a quick stop to readjust my gear a little bit and take off my hoodie because it was a little bit warm. So now it looks like I got a bit of a water obstacle to cross here. Nothing too hard. Oh, the water's nice and clear. Love that sound. Listen. Love it, guys. All right. What's up, guys? Just checking in. Still walking. Still hiking. Feeling okay. A lot of leaves on the ground, but there's still lots of leaves on the trees, which is good. When I got here, when I came last year, most of the trees, leaves were already off the trees. So I'm happy to be here a little bit earlier this year. to get to check out all of the fall colors in here. Anyways, I don't know. I might have another hour to go, 45 minutes. So let's just check in with you later. Peace. So here's a bit of a funny story for you guys while I'm about to cross this little stream here. Every time I do these backcountry hikes, I get one song in my head for the whole hike. And it's usually the most ridiculous song that I haven't heard in years. Has nothing to do with anything in my thought process or in my life. Last year, I remember I don't remember which one it was, but I had a Lady Gaga song stuck in my head last year for the entire hike. Well, today, out of nowhere, for absolutely no reason, I have the theme to Top Gun in my head. I haven't watched Top Gun 1 or 2 in many, many, many months. I haven't heard the song in many, many, many months. Nothing in my life has led me to think of the movie Top Gun or the song Top Gun. But for some reason on this hike, over the last hour, the theme from Top Gun has been playing on repeat in my head over and over and over again. Do you guys have that problem? Anybody here who does backcountry camping and hiking? Am I the only one? Or do you guys also get a song stuck in your head for the duration of your entire hike? Whew. I'm out of breath going up this hill here, guys. Anyways, back to Top Gun in my head. Okay, everybody. I see water up ahead through the trees and just past a very lovely couple who were hiking on their way out. So maybe, if I'm lucky, they are coming from my site and I can go right to my site, because when I checked in this morning, I asked if anybody was at the site I'm going to overnight, and they said yes, which means I can't come in early, but maybe I'll get lucky. And that was them. And I can just go right to my site and set up. Because my plan was, if I get to my site and there's people there, I'll just drop my bag and go for a hike. So yes, there's definitely water. I'm at my lake. Oh, wow, look at this. Is there a site back there?
Site 3.
Beauty, that's mine.
You were just checking it out. Looks good.
Nice, thank you. Have a nice hike.
Thank you.
Hey, how you doing? Good. Here we are, guys. Site 3. It's a big site. Wow. Whew. All right, guys, so we're here. First thing I like to do when I get to my site is lay down for a minute and catch my breath. So I've done that. So now it's time to scope out the site and figure out where we're going to set up my tent and, more importantly, my hammock. So let's walk around and I'll show you guys the site. So here we are at site number 3 on the lake, whose name I cannot pronounce. There is my fire pit. I got a little 2 benches here, and then there's a table to set my cooking stuff up on. The lake is down there, so my access to get water is probably by walking down that little path right there. And I got a nice view of the lake and the trees and the sky for some nice night star photography tonight. So I want to find someplace pretty flat for my tent, and that looks to me like right here. This looks like a pretty good flat spot. If I went right along here, there's a rock right there. There's a big root right there. So, or right here might be good. This actually might be better. This looks like it's softer right here. So I'll probably set up here. And then my hammock, well, my hammock can really go anywhere, can it? I guess I could put my hammock, across these two right here. That's perfect. That's my hammock. That's my tent. Now, the thing I don't like though, guys, the other site number 2, is right here. They're very close to each other. And I don't think I realized that when I booked this, which also probably means that when somebody comes to hike through to get to their side, oh, this is an emergency site. Oh, okay, this is not somebody's actual site that you can book. This is an emergency site. Okay, so there will be nobody beside me, thank God. Unless somebody has an emergency. Huh. I didn't know they had emergency sites here like this. This is pretty neat. It's a good site. Access to the water. Wow, somebody really chopped down some trees for this one. Wow. Okay, anyways, this is an emergency site, not a site that people will come and bother me at. That's good. Okay, let's go see our water access here. If this is how I get my water. A little tight. Yeah, but that'll do. This is good. Come out here. Dip my stuff in. Fill it with water. And then here is my lake. Again, the lake that I cannot pronounce. We'll check this out a little bit later. We'll come back in a bit and check out the view. Okay, so now it's time for my mom's favorite part of the video, where I time-lapse my whole setup of my tent and my stuff and my hammock. And my mom loves to watch this part where I speed it up. So get ready, guys. A little bit of funny music. We're gonna speed it up and we're gonna get set up real fast. Here we go. Okay guys, so things are looking good here. As you saw, we got my tent set up. Got the tarp on top. We are expecting maybe some rain on Monday. So anyways, that'll keep my tent dry. And a good soft spot to sleep. And as you probably noticed in the time lapse, I had quite the difficulties trying to find where to put my hammock because where I wanted to put it was too far. So I put it over here. I'm pretty happy with that. So a little bit of a tour here. This is the kitchen right there. This is the living room. That's the fireplace. That's the hammock. That's the bed. Now, there's 2 things I got to do next. Very important. One is I got to hang my food bag so the bears don't get it. And then I got to scrounge for some firewood because it's cold, guys. It's actually pretty cold today. And it's going to be a cold night, so I got to find some firewood, which I don't think is going to be very easy. So let's try and find a good log, or a good tree, away enough to hang my food. Now, let's see here. Oh, I will show you the what they call the thunder box. That's like basically your bathroom. That's back here. So if you gotta go boom boom, then take a little walk back here. You look to this side right here, and then you go this way. And then you have a nice little box, a little bit of privacy, where you can sit and do your business, guys, right in there. That's called the thunder box. I'm not going to open it. Anyways, back to what we were doing. I'm looking for a tree where I can throw a cord over and hang my food. All right, this tree will do. It's kind of by the water. My campsite's way over there, so it's far enough away from my campsite. And I can get the rope up around there. So let me go get my rope and my food bag, guys. And we'll show you how to secure your food and keep it safe from the animals. Well, guys, a little bit of a change in plans here. Somebody already has done this job for me, and they left behind their rope. So normally, I would take a weighted thing that I have and attach it to my rope, toss it up and around, and secure it to the tree, and then secure the bag to the rope. Well, here I don't have to do that because it's already been done for me. So I'm gonna go get my food and I'll be right back. All right, so here is the bag I use for my food. It's just it's basically like a little bit of a camping compression bag. You put your stuff inside it. It's waterproof. You roll it up. So inside of it is, oops, I gotta show you what's going on here. Inside, you've got all my food in Ziploc baggies, all secure. I've got oatmeal, I have coffee, and I have freeze-dried meals. I am getting pretty hungry. Anyways, so here's what I do. One second, guys. So here's what I do. It's got your clips here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna roll it like this. And then I clip these like this. And then I tie the rope, as you'll see, to this, and I pull it up. So let's go. I'll show you. Hey guys, it's late lunchtime, and today we're having for lunch taco and tortilla mix from Happy Yak. So I brought myself some tortilla shells. I got my mix. I got 400 milliliters of water boiling as we speak. So I'm going to add the 400 milliliters of water to here, stir it, shake the hell out of it, seal the pouch, and let it sit for about 12 minutes. Then it'll be ready to go and it'll look like that. Wish me luck, guys. Let's see how this goes. Okay, seal it. Is this gonna seal or what? I don't know, guys. All right, I'm gonna have to do it this way. Let's see how this looks. Looks still a little bit watery in there. Oh, here, okay. Let's see how it goes. So, I'm gonna make a little fold on the bottom, bring it over. Very messy. But all the water is leaking out the bottom. Okay guys, it's 6:38. I'm gonna take you guys down here to the lake, show you guys the beautiful view. The lake is dead calm. Look at this view. Oh, it's so nice. It's just so quiet. This is perfect, guys. So it's 7:10 p.m. I got a good campfire going. It's nice and dark all around. And I just had an interesting meetup with 3 people from Quebec, and they got here very, very late. They had lots of traffic, and I saw their flashlights coming, and I'm like, wow, they're here late. This is a scary time of night to be hiking. They still have an hour and a half to go to their lake, and they were going to stay here at the emergency site, which is right next to me. But what I haven't mentioned to you guys yet is that the people that we saw earlier that had all the kids, I think I told you guys about that. Well, they couldn't find their site, which is literally 5 minutes down the trail. So they decided to take the emergency site. So hopefully one of the other sites, 1 or 2, are still open. And I told them, since you can't use the emergency site, these people here were supposed to be at site 1 or 2. So if you get over there 5 minutes up the trail and site 1 or 2 is empty, take it. And I said, if not, come on back, set up at my site, hang out with me for the night, and then you can go to your lake in the morning. So I would not want to be hiking in this darkness this time of night for another hour and a half. So if they come back, we'll have some company. I do hope, though, that they're able to get a site that these people next to me were supposed to be at. Anyways, that's the end of my story. Bye-bye. Good morning, campers. Here we are, Sunday morning. Boy, did I ever sleep in. I have some stories for you. So my French friends, who I told you guys about last night, well, they did end up coming back. The sites that they went to go to were full, and as the emergency site was also taken, I let them stay here with me. So we had a fun night. They were very friendly. There were three people from Toronto, Max and Leia. They were French. I'm thinking they were from France. And then Valentina, she was from Colombia, and they worked together at a watch repair company. So never met a person who does watch repairs before. So they were very pleasant. They were very thankful. They set up their tent, sat around the campfire all night, just chatting, laughing, getting to know each other. I went to bed super early at like 9:30 because that's what I do. They stayed up and enjoyed their night. I heard them getting up this morning, but then I must have fallen back asleep. And when I got up at 11, they were gone. I slept from 9:30 till 11, guys. Anyways, my breakfast routine here. Show you guys where we're at. So I've got my coffee here. The coffee that I buy from my backcountry camping is this stuff right here. It's called Alpine Start Instant Coffee. It's got coffee and it's blended with a non-dairy coconut creamer. So I don't have to bring powdered milk. I bring my Splenda. I boil my water. I do that. Then for breakfast, I have my oatmeal. It's in here cooking right now. It should almost be ready. So this is the breakfast setup. We had a great campfire last night. We ended up finding all kinds of wood. So we were able to keep the fire going all night. So I'm going to take my time now, hang out for a bit, drink my coffee, enjoy the view. Speaking of the view, let's go see the view. All right, so here's the view. I'm actually enjoying the view from the emergency site right now because it's a little bit of a nicer view and it's different from what I've already been looking at for the last day. So take you guys on down here. Oh, that's nice, eh? It's so quiet. Okay, guys, it's 1:30. Spent the last hour and a half organizing, eating breakfast, drinking coffee, washing my dishes, changing my clothes, washing up, organizing my stuff. Then I was pretty pooped after that. So I decided to hunker down in my hammock for a little while and just hang out. And now I'm gonna go for a hike to the next lake. So we're gonna head out, guys, and see what's going on out here. If I can get my water thing here to stop moving around. Hold on a second here. Yeah, see what we can find. Maybe there'll be some nice lakes and streams or waterfalls or something. So here we go, we're on the trail. Let's go, guys. There's it's a pretty neat rock wall back here. I can kind of see if I can get to it. That's nice, eh? Wow. So this has been a pretty uneventful hike so far, guys. I've seen 4 people. 2 of them I saw last night when I was on a little bit of a hike. There's very little of interest in terms of like things to see. There's no waterfalls. It's just a nice trail. The colors are nice. Lots of leaves on the ground. But I haven't really seen anything to stop and look at. I'm just hiking. Just basically one foot in front of the other. Pumping along here. So just thought I'd check in. See you guys somewhere else. Okay, guys. It's 2:30. I've been at it for 1 hour. I've not seen any people since my last check-in. And I haven't seen anything interesting to stop and look at either. This is kind of nice right here. Big wide open space. Lots of leaves on the ground. Okay, guys, we finally found something interesting. I found Lake Ramona. So it's right over here to my right here. And I'll see if I can find a little trail to take us down and hunker down for a bit and just enjoy it. There we go. This is an awesome place to sit. I wish it was in the sun though. Kind of want to be in the sun, guys. There you go. See it? Oh, that's nice. Okay, guys, so I decided I'm going to keep hiking from Lake Ramona to the next lake. Then I'm going to turn around and go back. Because it's what I came here to do, right? So I'm just going to go a bit further. I don't know how much farther. I don't know. I might change my mind halfway there. But yeah, we're going to keep going. And hopefully maybe we can find the next lake and check that out. And then turn around and head back to our campsite. Have dinner, make a fire, hang out. Okay? All right. This trail that I'm on seems to be much less traveled than the one I just came from. So this is what's called the second loop. I was originally, I guess, on what's called the first loop. And this is the second loop. And the blazes on the trees on this loop are yellow. And the other ones are blue. I contemplated turning back, going back to my site because I'm just kind of getting bored of not seeing anything. But the next lake that we're going to is pretty big, so it might be nice. I just have no idea of how far it is. And I'm at over 2 hours since I left. So that means I got at least, from right now, I got 2 hours back. So depending on how far it takes me, how long it takes me to get to this lake, it could be 3 hours back. That's a long hike, guys. So that's where we're at. Got a little body of water here to look at in a minute. So here we are, body of water, just a small one. Okay. All right. Alrighty guys, so here's what we're gonna do. I decided I'm gonna turn back and 2-hour hike back, maybe 2.5, depending on how fast I go. And I gotta get wood. I gotta get my dinner ready. Gotta get a fire going. So I'm gonna make my way back and I'm gonna hyperlapse the walk back. We're gonna see if we can condense a 2.5 hour hike into 10 seconds. So let's speed her up right now and I'll see you guys back at my campsite. And for me, 2.5 hours. For you guys, about 10 seconds. Let's go. Okay, campers. So I made the hike back in an hour and a half, where I thought it was going to take me 2 hours, which is great. So I got here, unpacked my stuff, drank some water, chilled for a bit, got some firewood ready. I got a fire going on behind me. Now it's important decision time, guys. It's dinner time. I have 3 choices for me for dinner. We're going to talk about that right now. So my absolute favorite on these trips is Neapolitan spaghetti. This is my favorite meal of all time for camping. But it's Thanksgiving weekend. So maybe I should have something a little more Thanksgiving-y. So I brought shepherd's pie or hearty beef stew. I'm leaning more towards the hearty beef stew for a good Thanksgiving dinner meal. Thanksgiving dinner meal, yes. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do hearty beef stew. It's got 2 servings, so hopefully it's enough to fill me up. So we're going to figure out here what I got to do, and we're going to make ourselves some hearty beef stew for happy Thanksgiving dinner. Here we go. There we go. Okay, guys. The pouch, hopefully it seals better than last night's. Yep, it absorbed the water perfectly. It's good, guys. It's really good. Okay, guys, I'm going to go enjoy my Thanksgiving meal. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. See you guys in a bit. Good morning, guys. It is 9:30 in the morning on Monday. In Canada, it's Thanksgiving Monday. So to all my Canadian friends and family, happy Thanksgiving. So I've been up for about an hour and a half. It was a cold, windy night and a cold morning, so I got up right away. I made myself a coffee, a little bit of a fire, had my oatmeal. So now I've just been kind of going through and organizing all my crap. So there's all my crap. So now it's time to pack up my bag, get ready for the big hike out. So I'm going to do a time lapse of me packing my bag so you guys can see what that is all about. So let's pack the bag and get the heck out of here. Okay, guys, it's 5 after 10, so it's pretty much time to pack up, put on my pack and get going. So might be a 2-hour hike. Hopefully it's only an hour and a half. So let's get the pack on. Then I'm going to put you guys here, and then we're going to go do this thing together. Let's go. Okay, now there's a really good chance that I'm going to stop probably within half an hour and take this hoodie off because it's going to get hot. But it's cold right now, so feels okay. A little tight around the chest for some reason. All right, guys, let's go. All right, guys, off we go. It's 10:10 a.m. Get a last look at the lake, whose name I cannot pronounce. It's a good lake, guys. It's a good one. The hike in from the parking lot on Friday took me 1 hour and 35 minutes and was a 6.2 kilometer hike and 7,703 steps, according to the data from my smartwatch. My hike out on Monday took me only 1 hour and 9 minutes, 4.8 kilometers, and 6,935 steps, even though I followed the exact same route. The hike in and out to my site was very easy and uneventful. If I wanted more of a challenge, next time I would book the site a Ramona Lake. I also found the terrain on this loop, going to the right at the fork from the parking lot, to be less interesting than last year when I went to the left. The left side of the loop had more to see and more challenging terrain. For me, I prefer a site without neighbors or people around. Site 3 appears to have that. However, with the emergency site, you're not guaranteed that. Plus, I found that people hiking to sites 1 and 2 would be cutting through my site thinking it's part of the trail. It was a very satisfying weekend and gave me what I had hoped to get out of it. To Max, Leah, and Valentina, it was nice to meet you. Sorry I slept in and didn't get to say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your stay. I hope you've enjoyed this year's backcountry camping adventure. See you next year when I do it all again somewhere else.